In this video, I'm going to show you how to install our MDeck BA-1 Bluetooth Retrofit kit into the BMW CM5908 radio. Installation should take about an hour and requires only basic hand tools plus one BMW special tool, which is available on our website. Let's begin with the radio in the car. This radio isn't in the car, but let's pretend it is. The very first step is to disconnect the car battery. To remove the radio, first use a small flathead screwdriver to pry up on the black plastic tab on each side of the faceplate. Next, use the special BMW radio removal tool to unscrew the screw under each tab. Turn until the screw stops. Now you can grab the tabs and pull the radio forward out of the dash. Unplug the wiring connections on the back of the radio. Since different years have slightly different wirings, it's best to take a picture of your configuration before disconnecting it so that you have a reference when we go to reinstall later. Once everything is disconnected, remove the radio from the car and take it to a workbench or table to continue working on. Working at the table now, the first step is to remove the top lid. Use a small Phillips head to remove the screws here, here, and one on the back here. Note the screw on the back is longer than the others. Now, use your flathead to pry up on the sides of the top lid to free it from the chassis. Finally, depress the tab on the front of the top lid to release it from the faceplate, then remove the lid. Remove this piece of tape and paper here, and also this piece of tape. Next, we'll remove the LCD module so we have room to get the cassette deck out. To do that, first remove the Phillips screw here and over here. Next, depress this black plastic tab to allow the faceplate to come forward. Grab the faceplate and push it up and away from the radio to release the lip hooking it to the chassis. With the front edge of the LCD exposed, grab it by the sides and wiggle it up and out. Now we'll disconnect the three wiring connections to the cassette deck. The first one is here. Grab the wiring harness as close to the base as possible, then rock it side to side while pulling it up, and the connector should come out. Next is the white flex cable. Its connector has a locking sleeve securing the cable in place, so let's first unlock the sleeve. Use a small flathead to gently pry up on the outer edges of the connector until it stops, meaning it's unlocked. Now use your small flathead or any other narrow tool to gently work the cable up and out of the connector. The last connector is at the front right behind where the LCD was. Grab the wiring bundle close to the base, rock it side to side, and it'll pull out. At this point, we just need to remove 4 screws before we can pull out the cassette deck. The first one is on the bottom here, and the other 3 are on top here, here, and here. With the screws removed, make sure the connectors are out of the way and maneuver the cassette deck up and out of the chassis. Next, we need to transfer the mounting tabs here, here, and here from the cassette deck to the new board. Each one stays in its same location, but we'll use screws from the kit to attach the tabs to the new board, so these screws you remove here are no longer needed. Using 3 of the included screws, attach the tabs to the board. Hold the tabs flat as you tighten down the screws. Now we'll install the RF shield onto the board. Insert the remaining included screw down through the hole in the shield, then stick that through this hole, and then on the bottom, place the lock washer and nut. Line up the shield with the white line on the board, then use a 1/4 inch wrench and screwdriver to tighten the nut. Back in the radio, we need to remove this connector behind the volume knob. As before, grab the bundle near the base, rock it side to side, and pull towards the rear. Pull the harness out of the way and install the harness included in the kit in its place. The side of the connector with the metal exposed should be facing up. Push firmly on the connector and ensure it can take a light tug. Now plug the connector we just removed into its new receptacle on the bottom of the board. Next, plug the small connector at the front right into its new receptacle. At this point, you can drop the board into place. Ensure the tabs are sitting on top of the pads they attach to. Use 3 of the screws we removed from these mounts to secure the board in place. Let's plug in the remaining connections. This one goes here, and this one wraps around and goes here. And then there's the flex cable. Before reinstalling, inspect the cable to make sure it doesn't have any crossed or bent traces. Push the locking sleeve of the connector rearwards into the unlocked position, then insert the cable into the slot. Push the cable forward as far as it will go, then push the sleeve back into the locked position. Next, we're ready to reinstall the LCD. Make sure your faceplate is pulled forward, then line up the connector with the base and push it down into place. Pull the faceplate into position, reinstall the 2 screws, and press the bottom corner of the faceplate to catch the tab. With the LCD back in, rotate the RF shield counterclockwise until it's butting up against the back corner of the LCD. This helps keep RF interference out of the audio. You should be able to open the cassette door like normal. Wrapping it up inside, let's install the microphone extension cable. Plug the male end into the board and run the cable just to the left of the radio's heatsink out the back. Time to reinstall the top lid. First, slide the front corners of the lid under the tab at each corner on the chassis. Ensure the mic extension cable is still properly routed, then line up the slots on each side of the lid and press them down into place. Press the top center of the faceplate to catch the tab. Reinstall the 3 screws that hold the top lid on, and remember that the longer one goes in the back. That concludes the workbench portion. The radio is now ready to reinstall. If you don't have the security code for your radio, now is a good time to take down the serial number from the back of the radio, give your BMW dealership a call, and they can look up the radio's security code from this free of charge. Working in the car, you'll now need to install the included microphone. At least in an E30, it's recommended to use the clip-on microphone mount pushed over the back edge of this headliner trim piece right here. Run the cable down the door by pulling off the weather stripping and tucking the microphone cable into it. When the cable has been run this way down to the dash, route the cable out of the weather stripping channel, remove any under dash bolsters or trim, and run the cable across into the radio area. The rest of installation is the reverse of removal. Reattach the electrical connections on the back, and don't forget to connect the microphone. Slide the radio back in the dash, tighten the mounting screws, then push the plastic tabs closed again. You can now reconnect the car battery and turn the radio on. Enter the security code and you're in like Flynn. Head to your phone's Bluetooth settings to connect and crank it up. Thanks for watching. We hope this was helpful. You can find the products from this video on our website, cantalouperadio.com. And if you have any questions or feedback, leave it in the comments below and we'll get back to you.